Hey guys, welcome back to my video. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. This video is kind of like a little sad. Actually, it's very sad for me. And I kind of had this video in mind when I originally even started my channel, but I never knew how to make the video. And I saw a similar video to this posted, and it just kind of made me think, okay, just make the video. You don't have to post it right now, just make it. So I am making this video today. I don't know if I will actually post it or when I will post it, but today is it's February 23rd. So I will post this video whenever I am ready to post it. But for now, I'm just ready to film it. So, as you can tell by the title of the video, I had a miscarriage. Yeah, there's no really easy way to say that. I had a miscarriage. I was 19. I mean, I currently am 19, but I was 19 and I found out that I was pregnant on September 21st. And I miscarried just a little over a week later. I miscarried on September 29th. So, yeah. There's like a little backstory to all of this, I guess. So I'm just gonna jump straight into that. So I knew I was pregnant before I even got a positive pregnancy test. I am a full believer of listening to your body and what it's telling you, and something just did not seem right for me, and I just knew that I was pregnant, and I didn't even have a positive test, and I was taking these tests for a week and a half or so. I'm not quite sure how long I was actually taking them, but I was taking them for what seemed like forever, and they just kept coming back negative, and I had one test left, and I was like, okay. I hadn't officially missed my period yet. I was supposed to start it in 2 days or something, and I had one test left, and I was like, okay, if it comes back positive, then I'm pregnant. If it comes back negative, I'm not pregnant. I need to stop wasting my time on it. No biggie. I was just being cautious and careful. And so I took the test, and I took it that morning. September 21st is when I found out that I was pregnant. And it was actually the day of a friend's funeral. So that was very had a lot of emotions running through me that entire day. And it was just a lot to process at that time, I think. Finding out that I was pregnant to begin with, because I had been told multiple times that I could not get pregnant because of some health issues. One of them being that I have a heart-shaped uterus, which basically just means it's hard. There's not really a lot of room for a baby to grow or develop, so the chances of me getting pregnant to begin with was just super slim. That's what all the doctors told me. And at first I was very upset about it because I had decided that I didn't want kids, but once I had kind of come to terms with it, me and Tech had talked about it, and we decided that if we decided that we wanted to have kids, then we would figure something out. We would adopt, we would have a surrogate, we would do something similar. We would figure out a way to have kids if that's what we decided we wanted in the future. And so finding out I was pregnant to begin with was just kind of and I was so excited, but so scared and nervous at the same time. I don't know why I was so scared and nervous. I think, well, I was mostly scared and nervous to tell my parents and tell Tuck's parents. And yeah, I was worried about the wrong people, I should say. which I'll like get into that in a little bit. But yeah, it was just a lot to process at the time, and I was really worried. And so in that time frame from the 21st when we found out to the 29th when I miscarried, I had told my mom and my stepdad, my dad and my stepmom, and we had told Tuck's parents as well. And I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, so I had told them, and I knew that, you shouldn't tell anybody until you're like a little bit farther along. But Tuck was literally getting ready to leave for basic training at the end of October, and we were at the end of September, so like a month away. And I figured we might as well just do it. There's no need to prolong it and make things like build tension between people or whatever. I was like, so let's just do it. Let's just tell them and it'll be fine. And so I was very worried about telling my mom and my stepdad. Not that I thought they would be mad, I was worried that they would be disappointed, and they totally weren't. It was just a crazy thing that even happened. I told my mom at my cousin's baby shower, and my mom makes blankets for all of the grandkids, and so me and Tech went to Joann's Fabric and found some fabric that we really liked, and gave it to my mom in a bag, and then there was like the pregnancy testing on top of it. Well, one of them. So I ended up taking like 4 after that just to like make sure, even though one was enough. Yeah, so that's how I told my mom, and so then my mom went and called my stepdad and told them. And then a few days later, I told my dad and stepmom, and how I told them was I found a little onesie that said BYOB and then bring your own bottle. And so I put that in like a little bag, a baby bag, and gave it to my dad to open up. And he's like trying to open it. So my dad had shoulder surgery and he was kind of like immobilized for a little bit. And he was trying to open it and he couldn't. But I was like, if he just looked at the bag, he would know. And so he's like trying to like unfold this little onesie. And I was like, surprise! And everybody was just like super ecstatic and super happy and super supportive, which is really nice and reassuring because I was really worried about my dad and stepmom's reactions. Again, I just didn't want them to be disappointed or think any less of me. I don't know how to explain that. Yeah, I was just worried in general of people thinking less of me or like being disappointed in me. And so I was absolutely terrified to tell my parents, and I was even more terrified to tell Tuck's parents. And so if you guys are watching this, hi, and yeah, I'm sorry, but this is how I felt. I was very worried to tell Tuck's parents because we all have very different beliefs, which is totally okay. Everybody is welcome to their own beliefs and opinions and all of that general aspect of things. But I was very worried to tell Tuck's parents because I didn't know what they were going to say. And so I asked Tuck, because it was his parents, I was like, is there a special way you want to tell them or anything? And he said no. But I was like, we just told my parents in a cute way, like why shouldn't we tell them in like a cute way either? I thought maybe it would lighten the blow. And so we went to Family Dollar and got little baby socks and just wrapped them in the Family Dollar bag itself. And Tuck gave it to his mom, and he was like, I know what I want for Christmas. And so he gave his mom this bag of socks, and she like starts to open it up, and she just kind of like looks at it for a minute, and then looks at Tuck, and then looks at me, and looks back at the socks, and goes, you having a baby? And I looked at her, and I was like, we sure are. And then Tuck's dad comes around the corner, and I was like, my goodness. And then nobody said anything about it after that. And I was like, okay. So, they asked like a few questions or whatever, and then Tech ended up leaving his parents' house, and we got in the car, and we both just looked at each other like, that was nerve-wracking beyond belief. Like, it was just very nerve-wracking. We were both terrified. And then everything really seemed fine for, I want to say we told them like a day or two after we had found out, because this all was just in a week time frame that everything happened. So we had to have told them just a day or two after. And so we went through the rest of the week, and everything was fine. I started to get pregnancy symptoms. I didn't feel very good. I was kind of more nauseous. Didn't really feel like eating anything. I was very tired, which are all normal pregnancy signs or whatever. And we had a friend's wedding, which was on September 28th. So on the 28th, everything was fine with me. So I was the designated driver, because obviously I couldn't drink. I'm pregnant. I was a designated driver, which was no biggie. I was eating, there was nothing out of the ordinary on that day. On the 29th, we were helping take down for the wedding, take everything down, the decorations and that kind of thing. And Tuck and I were at his parents' house to borrow their truck, and Tuck's dad said that he wanted to talk to us, and so Tuck and I were like, yeah, okay, what's up, basically. And I try really hard not to cry or get emotional. So Tuck's dad sat us down on the couch, and I was on the couch, Tuck was on the floor, and then Tuck's parents were on the couch across from me. And Tuck's dad, that's a good way to put this, expressed his opinions on how he felt about me being pregnant and what Tuck and I had done and that kind of thing. And I'm not going to say any specifics because it's not really needed. But he said some things that made me very upset, and I was very overwhelmed at that point. So I was very emotional after some of the things that his dad had said. And so afterwards, Tuck and I had left. Before Tuck and I had left his parents' house, I had went to the restroom, and I was spotting a little bit, which I knew was not good. So I didn't say anything to Tuck while we were at his parents' house, and so then we left his parents' house, and we're getting ready to come back to my house, and I told Tuck that we needed to stop by the emergency room, and he was like, what, why? So, I explained that I was experiencing some bleeding, which isn't good, so say. And he was like, okay. So he drove me to the emergency room. And when I got there, they did a blood test and a urine test, and they confirmed that, yes, I was pregnant. And when I, backtrack a little bit, when I saw that there was, spotting or bleeding, I, again, just knew. The same way that I knew that I was pregnant, I knew that I was miscarrying. I don't know how to explain it, but if anybody else has ever experienced this, then they know that sometimes you just know these things. And so I just knew that I was having a miscarriage. And so when they took my blood and urine test, they said, yes, you're pregnant. and obviously you bleeding is abnormal, like that shouldn't be happening. And so they did a regular ultrasound where they didn't see anything, and then they did a vaginal ultrasound where they also didn't see anything, and then told me that yes, I was having a miscarriage, and basically told me that they didn't tell you. This was like probably, I guess, like the one of the worst parts was that they don't tell you what to expect or what to do or how to handle the situation or nothing at the ER. They just said if you bleed, well, okay, they tell you not to use tampons or anything and not to continue to be sexually active. They say that if you feel a pad in more than an hour, then you need to go back to the ER. That's it. That's all they told me. And I was like, okay. I didn't really like know what else to do or expect. Before I had left the hospital, they while I was still at the ER. So there's this thing, and I cannot remember specifically what it is called, but it happens when one parent is O neg and one parent is O positive, and the baby gets the opposite of what the mom is, and so the mom's body is trying to fight it and get rid of it. And I want to say it's RH positive or something like that. And so they give you a shot for it, and they wanted to give it to me in my butt, and I was like, because anybody that knows me knows I do not do shots. So they wanted to give it to me in my butt cheek, and I was like, that's not gonna happen, buddy. You can do it in my thigh. So they gave it to me in my thigh, and poor Tuck, he was just almost asleep in the chair, and they stuck with the needle, and I screamed quite loudly and woke him up, and I felt very bad, but they stabbed me with a needle. So anyways, they gave me the RH positive shot thing, I guess. I don't know what it's called. And then sent us on our way. And I was like, okay. So Tuck and I went back to, instead of coming all the way back to my house, we stayed at where he was staying, and which wasn't with his parents. To clarify, he was had his own place, he was roommates with people. And so we went back there and fell asleep for a little bit, and the very next day was my first day of college, which was I just experienced so much all at once. It was not really a good time. Yeah, so that very next day, the 30th, was my first day of classes. And so I woke up and drove to my school, went to my classes that I had that day, and came home, and that was it for that day. And obviously I just tried to push what was happening aside and didn't really think about it. But then I don't remember what days it was specifically afterwards, but I ended up having to go back to the ER once or twice, I believe. I'm sorry, I went back to the ER one. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. I went back to the ER one time, and then I went to a walk-in clinic one time as well. And both times it was just because I was bleeding a lot more than what I should have been bleeding. And yeah, so some people say that they pass the baby and that kind of stuff. But if I did, then I don't know it. I wasn't really worried about it at that point, about seeing it or that kind of thing. I was just kind of okay, it's the process has started, just get it done and over with. What they don't tell you is that having a miscarriage, you're essentially giving birth still. maybe not to a full-grown baby, but you are still giving birth. And so you still have contractions, which were awful. It feels like a period cramps on steroids. It was just awful. And nobody really warned me for that, which sucked, I guess. But yeah, that's that. So, I don't know, I guess the point of this video was to just share my story and let other people know that they're not alone. I guess I'm not really sure. I just felt like I needed to, this is a story that I needed to tell. And here I am telling it. Like I said, if I post it, or when I post it, I guess, will kind of be like a different story. But my tongue hurts. Anyways, yeah, so I guess when I post it, you guys will see this video. Tech and I decided that we will discuss trying, now that we know that I can get pregnant, whether it be I can carry to full term or not, will obviously be a case-by-case basis. It's obviously definitely possible that I could just miscarry again if we decide to try to have another one, or decide to conceive again. We're definitely waiting until after the wedding, until after we get married, but we don't have like a set month or time or anything. We do want to wait just a little bit after we get married so that we can just have like us time. But we also know that the longer we wait, the less likely there is for us, a chance for us to get pregnant, due to the fact that, one, the older you get, the less likely you are to get pregnant, and two, whereas I already have some health issues, it makes getting pregnant that much more complicated. So, that's that. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped you, if help is what you're looking for, or if you're looking for someone to relate, or to how to deal, or just a story to listen to, then I'm glad you picked this video. Give this video a thumbs up, and I promise my next videos will be a little bit more uplifting. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on those post notifications. And I'm hoping to post this before Tuck and I get married, so there will be lots of wedding content coming soon. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.